Hello everybody, it's me, Second Stage, and today, with a Let's Draw of a game that I've always wanted to do a Let's Draw, to be honest. I don't know why I haven't made one. Maybe I didn't have that much, ideas or any inspiration. But it seems that now I have the inspiration for it, and there you have it. Your illustration of Mirror's Edge, a game that gets a lot of hate, but also a lot of love. Many people seem to hate this game mainly because of the controls, that the combat doesn't seem to work that much, or that it's unfair and cheap. I always had a good time with this game the first time I've got it. I love the style. I love the actual concept. Also the speed that you have in this game in terms of realism, especially compared to something like Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm very excited about the sequel because there were a lot of unanswered questions in the long run. But anyways, let's go back to the actual Let's Draw, and I hope you seriously appreciate it. I usually don't say this, but I really, really hope you appreciate this Let's Draw because it costed me a lot of, patience. And I've tried to experiment with a lot of stuff that I haven't even done, in at least here with Gimp or with the graphic tablet for that matter. I mainly, you will see what I mean later on, and I'll explain it to you, but I haven't done a lot of things here. In terms of style, everybody who played Mirror's Edge know how stylish it is, and this was kind of the inspiration because I'm a huge, fan of very stylish, no matter if it is games or animes or whatever. I just love, the style that is behind, Mirror's Edge and the actual character of Faith. And the overall, very simplistic, but with a lot of details, like the tattoos on her left arm and this tattoo on her eye, sorry for the Mirror's Edge and the back, and all this other stuff, in the game. And the music is also pretty awesome. But let's go back to the actual Let's Draw. This Let's Draw, how can I put this? I tried to do this kind of, pseudo or wannabe stylish, kind of technique here, with all the lines. Also, you see here, as I deleted all the lines here, I thought that when you put on the up and on the downside, a line like in movie strap something, I thought it would look a little bit more stylish and more dynamic. But in the long run, I thought maybe it would be too much. So I just left the rest, to what is here. And also here, the actual idea of this was something that I think I haven't seen this before. This kind of Faith runs through a mirror, and the mirrors have basically, panels inside them. I thought it was actually a pretty nice idea, when you see different images of her, doing things. You will see this later on. And like I said, I've tried to experiment a lot, not only in terms of styles, but also in terms of designing the overall characters, colorization, everything. And you saw here right now, this took me a little bit more time, the facial expressions, which surprised me a little bit. But mainly because I wanted to do, a more close-up of the smaller version of her. Now, here I've corrected a lot, like you saw before, the leg position, everything. The proportions weren't that right, and maybe I've missed some things at all later on, I don't know. I like this pose a lot, where she jumps and, the perspective and the buildings. We'll see this later on. I think it looks actually pretty good, and like I said, for the first time that I've made this, I'm impressed actually. Usually I'm very, not very, happy with my illustrations. I always has something to criticize. Oh, it doesn't look that good, and I'm pissed off that I didn't correct this and that. Or this here, for instance. I usually do this, on paper. This is the first time I really do this, this kind of very dynamic kick here, or jump. Maybe the proportions weren't that right, but I tried to create this kind of dynamic, despite the proportions. A very popular Japanese animator was Yoshinori Kanada. I don't know if you have seen one of his animations. He made a lot of animations for, you know, animes like I don't know, I think Urusayats were the first movie. He made animations for Plastic vs. Sanshiro, and for what is any for Daitan 3, and you know, for a whole bunch of animes. His style is very remarkable. Yes, also the Galaxy Express 999 movies, both, you know, where he made this kind of very dynamic styles and this very dynamic poses that don't look, you know, that much realistic, but it just works because of how dynamic it looks like. Or the opening sequence to Galaxy Cyclone Braiga. If you wanna see this, you know, Kanada at its fullest or at his best, you seriously should look at this video. You know, you can find this on YouTube. Like I said, Galaxy Cyclone Braiga, or J9, because it's one of the first series of the J9 installments. It's a very cool series actually. But yeah, here you see the coloring actually. You know, very very simple. I try not to make that much, you know, perspective, you know, shadows. And here you see what I mean, you know, this is what I haven't done before, you know, this kind of rub tone that you see in mangas. I think it looks actually pretty cool. I've downloaded once one of those rub tone, you know, those kind of stuff on one Japanese site, you know, where you can get all different kinds of different, you know, plugins and tools and everything for Gimp. And I thought, wow, this is awesome. I should implement it in my Let's Draws. And now I have done it, and it looks pretty good, actually. Or like here, when I here using the building, very perspective, and the, you know, the colors, you know, from white to blue or from white to gray. You know, that not only that the perspective works, but also that the colors are on the respective perspective. Come to think of it, here when you saw blue, I actually should let it blue because it actually looked pretty neat, pretty stylish. And the shades here on the foreground, I've decided to make a little bit more thicker outlines because, you know, in terms of perspective, so that it works a little bit more, looks a little bit more stylish. And here I also made it with the speed lines. I think, you know, that I, just like I said, experimented with a lot of stuff, and I think it looks pretty awesome actually. I don't know what you think. Some of you might say it sucks, you know. If you say it sucks, I can live with that, you know. I mean, for what do we have actual criticism? Criticism is very important. You know, no matter if it is, you know, constructive criticism or, you know, just a blatant, you know, profanity all over the place. I can live with that. I mean, it's their opinion, and if they say it sucks, it sucks. I can't convince them the other. I mean, it's good to hear, you know, good opinions, but yeah, you know, it's still a learning process for me, you know, drawing in general. I like to do it, but I'm very curious of what I can do, you know, what I can learn later on. And it's always fascinating to learn also from other people, illustrators, no matter if younger or older. It's always great. And here I made a little, you know, shadow effect here. That looks that the perspective comes a little bit more, you know, to the fullest. I wasn't that sure if I should add it. Maybe it would be too irritating, but I've tried, you know, to look, you know, and far away, a little bit closer to the picture to get a feel for the perspective and everything, and the overall, you know, feel of the actual illustration. But yeah, there's nothing much to say. We're almost at the end of the video. Here's another segment. And yeah, that was basically my Let's Draw of Mirror's Edge. I hope you liked it. I hope I haven't talked too fast. But yeah, more illustrations and Let's Draws coming soon. Also more reviews and Let's Plays and whatever. But until that, thanks for watching and see you soon.